Well, the story that just won't go away because Democrats think they've got a really good angle on this. The Democrats think that they're really threading the needle here, and they found the sweet spot in defending narco-terrorists who are bringing poisonous drugs by the kilos after kilos, by the thousands of kilos to our shores, killing our children, and bringing violent gang activity into our neighborhoods. They know that they're on the right side of this issue. They're defending all the best people, aren't they? Don't believe me? Yeah, really. Chuck Schumer thinks that the real problem in this whole story, even though the majority of Americans fully support the president's strategy right now and his tactics in going after the Venezuelan narco-terrorists, Chuck Schumer thinks that the real problem here is Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Yesterday, he demanded a private briefing with Pete Hegseth. And actually, that's not true. He didn't demand a damn thing. Pete Hegseth notified Capitol Hill and let them know that he was going to do a off-the-record, confidential, classified briefing of the Gang of Eight. The Gang of Eight is the Speaker of the House, the minority leader in the House, the majority leader in the Senate, the minority leader in the Senate, and then the two ranking members, Republican and Democrat, from the intelligence committees in both the House and the Senate. Those are the 8 people. It's very tight. It's very close quarters. Nothing ever leaks except when Adam Schiff is one of those 8. Then everything leaked out of those meetings. So here he is about to go into that meeting, and he lets the media and his Democrat supporters know exactly what he's going to do with Pete Hegseth.
Now, finally, this afternoon, Secretaries Hegseth and Rubio and top officials will brief the Gang of Eight, and I'll be there. I plan to confront Secretary Hegseth on exactly what the hell is going on in the Caribbean. I plan to demand Secretary Hegseth give the total, unedited videos of what happened in the September 2nd boat strikes.
Okay, so I just want to review something here because you're about to see what happened after that meeting. But let's just, please, I want you to hear the language that Schumer uses here when he talks about this meeting. Listen to the language.
Hegseth on exactly what the hell is going on.
Oh, sorry, hang on. I went too far.
I plan to confront Secretary Hegseth.
I plan to confront Secretary Hegseth. Okay, so when you confront him, what are you going to do?
On exactly what the hell is going on in the Caribbean. I plan to demand Secretary Hegseth give the total, unedited videos.
Yeah, he's stirring, isn't he? I want to follow him into a battle. All right, I'm going to confront him, and I'm going to demand that he do these things. Demand after demand after demand. I'm going to demand he do this. I'm going to demand he do that. And I'm going to confront him and say, what the hell are you doing here? Okay, that's what Schumer told us all he was going to do. All right, so the meeting is over, and here comes Chuck Schumer. So how'd all those demands go? Tell us what happened, Chuck.
Okay, it was a very unsatisfying briefing. I asked Secretary Hegseth, Secretary of Defense Hegseth.
Hold on. You asked him? I thought you were going to confront him about what the hell is going on. I thought you were going to demand that you asked him, but he's got quite a different tone here. I love that he thinks it's some dig to call him Secretary of Defense. I do love that Democrats are. You ever wonder if Trump knows how to drive them insane? All they want to do is say, it's Secretary of Defense, damn it. It's the Gulf of Mexico, damn it. Where's my East Wing? It's just pathetic. But boy, oh boy, they never miss an opportunity to rise to the bait that Trump lays out there for them or lower themselves to it. All right, so let's go back. I remember he was going to demand all these things.
Asked Secretary Hegseth, Secretary of Defense Hegseth, would he let every member of Congress see the unedited videos of the September 2nd strike? His answer, we have to study it. Well, in my view, they've studied it long enough, and Congress ought to be able to see it. I told him that every member of Congress So many members of Congress, Democrat and Republican, had a right to see it, wanted to see it, and should see it. In terms of Venezuela, I asked them what their strategy is and what they were doing. Again, did not get satisfying answers at all.
Wow. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to demand this. And then suddenly all those demands and all that confrontation turns into, I asked him and I was not satisfied, but I asked him. Look at the double-fisted. What is that? It's like a really bad Ringo Starr. The double fist thing going on there. He's as coordinated as my dad when he tried to do swing dancing. It didn't end well. All right. Well, there's Chuck for you. The video. They want to see the full video. They want the American people to see the video of the missile strike on the Venezuelan boat and then the fiery aftermath where you've got two of the narco terrorists flipping the boat over, trying to salvage the drugs, trying to radio and ask for help, and then the second strike kills them. And part of their ghoulish demand for this video is that they want the American people to see a snuff film because they think that we don't have the stomach for a military exercise where we actually see individuals getting killed. We never release those videos. We will show rockets or bombs going into a building, but when there's actual individuals there, we don't do that. Frankly, I think it kind of exploits those individuals who are engaged in, even when they're our enemy, I don't think it's good to exploit them and the death that they endure at the hands of our military strikes, right? I would not want a foreign nation engaged in a war activity against an American soldier or Marine or sailor to then put out the video of the death of our soldiers, right? We wouldn't want that. And I don't think, even though these guys are bad hombres and they're our enemies, I don't think that that's a good precedent, number one. Number two, it's classified for a reason. You know, we don't want the narco terrorists to see exactly what our tactics are at all times. We want them to see what we're capable of so that it keeps them from trying to come onto our shores again and continue to do this. But I'd rather the military experts decide what can and can't be released. I also, number three, don't like the precedent that because politicians like this a-hole demands that the video gets released, that suddenly the Pentagon has to jump and say, oh, okay, Chuck, because you're a military expert, because you know better. We know that this is just partisan politics. And I don't think the Pentagon should be dragged into that stuff and have to knuckle under just because some elected official trying to make hay and hurt Trump demands that a video gets released. It's obscene. It's gross. But Chuck Schumer, speaking on behalf of the Democrats in the Senate, and frankly, all the Democrats right now in any leadership position, he's maintained this message. Show us the video. We showed you yesterday, Adam Schiff. Show us the video. Tammy Duckworth. Show us the video. Mark Kelly. The American people, they should all see this video, right? So let's see how on message these Democrats are. Chris Coons, high-ranking Democrat in the Senate, right? Chuck Schumer's his boss. Chuck Schumer's the leader. So he's got to toe the line, right? So Chris Coons asked about the video. Do you agree? Do we need to release the video?
When this story broke, when it burst into public view in the Washington Post report about the vessel being on fire from bow to stern, about two shipwrecked people, many of the military experts that have been on this program pointed us and our viewers to the Law of War Manual, which has as its specific example of the line in the Law of War Manual being shipwrecked people. Is there anything in the video that makes that not more any less stark? I mean, these seem like, from Democrats and Republicans who've seen the video, say for Tom Cotton, shipwrecked people.
It certainly seemed that way to me. But Nicole, what matters here is less what you see in the video than the analysis, the assumptions. And that's all rooted in the policy decisions made to equate trafficking cocaine with attacking America.
Okay, so there's two beautiful moments here, and I hope you caught them. Well, there's three beautiful moments. The first is Nicole Wallace, who's married to a New York Times reporter who lives and dies on anonymous leaks from DOJ, the intelligence community, and from the Pentagon. That's never disclosed, by the way. just so you know. Nicole Wallace pining for the good old days. You hear the wistful tone in her voice. You know, back when this story first broke and the Washington Post told us exactly what happened here. Remember then? Remember when we were calling for Nuremberg war crime trials? Oh, those were the good old days. Wish we could go back to that. I love that little wistful tone in her voice as she laid out the predicate for the question. But then Chris Coons comes in. The first thing he says, the very first thing he says is, yeah, you know what happens on the video, that's not really that important. So wait a second. I thought Chuck Schumer said demanded to see the video before he asked to see the video. I thought that Mark Kelly and Adam Schiff and Tammy Duckworth, that's all they've been saying. They've been on message. Show us the video. Show us the video. This guy, Chris Coons, he's seen the video. He says, yeah, what's on the video isn't that important. That's not the big deal here, right? But what's really important is the policy making that went on behind the scenes that even led us to this point, which I guess he sounds like he's a big grown-up, that he's really interested in the overarching big scheme here. But understand what he's revealing when he says that his real problem is the president's policy going after these narco-terrorists. Listen to him.
Then the analysis, the assumptions, and that's all rooted in the policy decisions made to equate trafficking cocaine with attacking America.
There you go. See, the overriding message from Chris Coons, and frankly, most of the Democrats we're hearing from right now, either elected officials, former elected officials, or just the teleprompter readers who act like they're TV journalists, the overriding message is, why are we even doing this? It's just cocaine. Come on. It's like Nicole Wallace is like, please, you should see the green room for Morning Joe. You got a problem with cocaine? Start there, right? This ain't nothing. Why are we treating this like it's a threat? Now, when we raised this issue on Friday's program, and I suggest that you go down and look on the platform you're watching us on right now, Friday's program, we showed you study after study, not from crazy right-wing media over here. No, from NPR. NPR a year ago had an expose on how loads and loads of cocaine being brought into this country is laced with fentanyl. It's just cocaine. Now, listen, I forgive Chris Coons, the senator from Delaware, for taking this attitude because, after all, Hunter Biden is his constituent. So, you know, if you're representing Hunter Biden in the Senate, you probably just sort of have to shrug and say, yeah, cocaine, I'm going to pick my battles. I'm not going to die on that hill or that powder mound. But for the rest of us, yeah, it's kind of a problem. And also, let's realize something. It's not just cocaine. Yes. Beyond the fact that so much of it is laced with fentanyl and children are dying. I heard a story of a person who I know whose son had never taken drugs before, went to a party at a military academy, actually, sadly. Not everyone knows I'm affiliated with the Naval Academy. This is not the Naval Academy, although it could have happened at the Naval Academy. I'm not saying. And they went to a party, and literally for the first time in his life, because cocaine was there, he tried cocaine, and he went into cardiac arrest because there was fentanyl laced in the cocaine. Okay, so enough of the shrugging this off and just giving it the back of your hand and saying, it's cocaine, please, come on. Okay, because this isn't Studio 54. This isn't the heyday of the 80s back when you came of age. Okay, it's not like Stevie Nicks is in the room next to you doing a few lines and it's oh so cool. All right, this is a very different situation now, number one. Number two, Senator Coons, law and order, it's still illegal, not just selling it, possessing it, owning it, dealing it, but certainly bringing it in by the tens of kilos in a speedboat from a foreign nation that's hostile to us. Why are you shrugging this off, saying, yeah, sure, it's Venezuelan narco-terrorists, but it's just cocaine, so who am I to judge? What the hell? This is the Democrats' message now? And finally, and more importantly, forgive me, you ignorant idiot, or you know very well and you're just being duplicitous for political purposes, this isn't about the cocaine per se. It's about the money. What does Venezuela do with the money that they make by poisoning our children? I'm sorry, did I miss something? Is Venezuela exporting other things to our country? Do they have some thriving economy? It's not like they can sell oil on the open market right now, or that they have a functional economy that allows them to drill oil and ship it around. The entire place is a basket case. It's a failed state at this point because of Marxism. You might want to remind Zoran Mamdani that this is what ends up happening. This is about a hostile country with a dysfunctional Marxist government that is hostile to us, utilizing criminal activities to make money that is then used potentially with more criminal activity, murdering, gang warfare, mob efforts against the United States and against our allies. And the fact that he can't see that or chooses not to see it is kind of part of the problem, wouldn't you say? So that's Chris Coons. But set aside them for a minute. Because Democrats in the Senate, as much as they like to do their media hits or their press conferences and look like idiots, they're not the real danger here for Pete Hegseth. No. Because you see, impeachment proceedings do not begin in the Senate. They begin in the House. And ladies and gentlemen, I bring you now the existential threat to Pete Hegseth's career as the Secretary of War. Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that I believe it's over. Pete Hegseth is toast because, well, I'll just let you watch.
Hello, this is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Today, I introduced articles to impeach Secretary Pete Hegseth for murder and conspiracy to murder and reckless and unlawful mishandling of classified information. Since day one, Secretary Hegseth has disgraced that once proud office that he holds, from issuing orders to kill everybody on board a small boat with no evidence of any wrongdoing, to launching a follow-up strike to finish off survivors who barely clinging onto their life. His actions are not just reprehensible, but illegal as well. Former military attorneys have come out and asserted that his actions have risen to the level of war crimes. He also put the lives of our own troops in danger by leaking classified war plans in an unauthorized Signal group chat, which included a random journalist with no role anywhere in the administration. Pete Hegseth was already the most unqualified Secretary of Defense in American history, but through his abysmal conduct, he has failed to even meet the already pitiful expectations that we had of him. We must impeach and remove Pete Hegseth as soon as possible. Thank you.
No. Thank you. Thank you very much, Congressman Shri Thanedar of the great state of Michigan. Thank you. So, I'm no political genius, but I know that these things need to go through a certain process, and you have a committee hearing for the impeachment articles, and then you have a floor vote, and of course, there is a slim majority for Republicans in the House, but I think that it might be enough to shoot this down. But if I may offer a little bit of political advice to Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, don't dismiss this out of hand. I beg you, hear me out. Let this go to the Rules Committee. Add a couple of amendments to it. and get enough votes to actually set up an impeachment hearing. Wait for it. You should do this, but just here are the provisions. Here are the amendments. Yes, we will allow this process to go forward, and we will set up a committee. However, the sole spokesperson for this effort must be Congressman Sri Thanadar, the man who came up with this idea, the man who introduced the articles of impeachment. He deserves to own this. He deserves to be the tip of the spear. He deserves to be the face and the voice behind the effort to impeach Pete Hegseth. He should represent the Democrats in this effort singularly. Don't let anyone else share the glory. No. Every single piece of testimony brought forward by a witness supporting the impeachment, it must be presented by Congressman Sri Thanadar. During the committee hearing, any cross-examination on behalf of the Democrats can only be conducted by Congressman Sri Thanadar. And when we bring it to the floor, to the vote, only one man can speak for this. We'll give him 4 hours to make the case to impeach Pete Hegseth, but it must be Congressman Sri Thanadar. Now, I don't know if they can put a provision in there that says that only Congressman Sri Thanadar is able to do media appearances about this. That would be glorious as well. But I think that we may have met our goal here by just containing all of the House proceedings and isolate all of it on this one man. This is his idea, after all. And I'm pretty happy with how this might play out if I get more of that. Otherwise, I think right now, as long as the man who sits behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office is pleased with the efforts of Pete Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth has some job security.